Oh, hello. It's so strange that you're here. There's not another interdimensional translate scheduled for another million years. Well, you're here now, and I bet you're extremely curious as to where here is. I will tell you. This is the center of the end, a corner stop in the great wheel. From this point, everything that has ever happened is still happening, and everything that ever will happen is waiting to continue. Here's where the stories are. And I am the teller, of course. Now let's put you back in your dream. Tell me of its content. You don't want to. Well, you have to. How about I give you another dream? A dream from another being much like yourself. A dream from 20 light years away. Intrigued? No? How about a story then? Pulled straight out of the life of another to help you sleep. If you don't sleep, here, you'll never wake up. There. Then we're agreed. A story then. Good. Lie down and make yourself cozy. Once you're asleep, you'll be reintegrated back into your world. Okay then? 'Tis a story of masked vengeance from the planet Terra, and a dimension 4 down and 98 over from the one you come from. Where to start? Oh yes. Caliginous. I was up all night in the mainframe supercomputer in my lair. I've never needed much sleep, and in today's world it works to my advantage, giving me 21 hours a day to hunt my prey. Evil. It's been 2 days since I lost track of Mr. Souls, and my arch nemesis, a man so powerful I dare not face him head on. I'm in it to win it, not to find out how much grit I have. The last track I had on him was over the Sea of Japan, apparently building an army of lost men who perished in the ocean. That's what Mr. Soul does best. Necromances the dead to do his bidding, turns them into maledicted zombies. Just like Anna. I'm heading near the south of the coordinates the big tank gave me last night before I killed him. I tracked him for weeks after I learned he was a general under Dr. Soul, and I killed yet another bad named Cretin. Slosh. His name was Slosh, and he claimed to be able to liquefy solid objects. Tough one to capture. First attempt he made goop of my snare net. Turns out all of his power, though, flows through the vibrations of his fingertips, and the majority of those fingertips have to be attached to non-busted, non-broken fingers. I can feel the necromancy in the air as I land my one-of-a-kind, all-black, all-sleek, all-max stats fighter self-plane right on the water, like a boss. Main brain, that's what I named my supercomputer. Keep the engine on standby. I may need you in a hurry, I said in my raspy hero voice, not even forcing it. Took a laser to the throat 5 years ago in a battle that killed Mr. Soul's predecessor. I know it's kind of sick, but I still have a little sliver of his kneecap in a jar on my trophy case. His kneecap, obviously. I am doing it now, came the reply from the panel in front of me. Really need to work on Brain's responses at some point. You know, in the future when it stops being damned funny. Despite his stupid talk, yes, said he, it's a guy supercomputer. He has never once let me down, and his operations are near limitless because that's how he was programmed. I remote opened the cargo drop at the rear of my craft and ramped out over the water on my one-of-a-kind, death trap in the making, all black, all sleek, missile launching jet ski. My toys are my favorite part of being a superhero with limitless funds and a genius-level smoking hot girlfriend. Her name's Clarity. She'd kill you for me telling you that, so call her LaForges. That's really her superhero name. She's really one of a kind. Oh, but I met her after Anna. My jet ski makes almost less noise than the water it rides on. At ridiculous speeds, I traveled towards the feeling of necromancy. The world had a light bluish luminance that did not belong. He was definitely out here somewhere. Just then, the water around me in several places exploded in pillars, and out of the top launched jet-augmented zombies. Nice entrance. On the descent, I got a better look at them. 6 in total. Gross, bloated men with tattered skin and clothing. And on their heads, like headlamps, were motherfucking lasers. I fucking hate lasers. Like my one true weakness. I leapt up to standing on my jet ski, simultaneously charging my inner super. Then I pulled out my adapted katana blade, and yes, it's a one-of-a-kind, all black, all sleek. I'll chop a zombie to shark bait, made out of the same shit as Wolverine's skeleton that doesn't even exist and had to be invented and created by LaForges who practically broke the laws of physics to create it. Wielding it my own version of Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinsuryo, I steadied myself for the first wave of their attack. All 6 augmented zombies hit and disappeared beneath the surface almost simultaneously. In the next breath, they were circling like synchronized swimmers, keeping up with the speed of my jet ski. Impressive. I assume Dr. Souls has a super hot, geeky, genius girlfriend of his own. Or a dude. Whatever. I used my vision to its full potential, my mind running at warp speed, taking it. Oh shit! I hit the water with a hard splash. A zombie's arm wrapped tightly around my chest. I fought hard for the room, raised my arms, and thrust the katana blade behind me, and upwards, through the zombie's chest. It released me, but other than that it was unfazed. Hot bubbles began to spew from the jet tank on its back. I kicked it hard in the chest and sent us both away from each other, creating about 15 feet between us and 3 whose fins were coming from behind. Boom! The zombie I gave a new hold to exploded. The shockwave shook me and I blacked out for a few seconds. Child's play. I thought to myself as I went into a newly found underwater adapted version of Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinsuryo. I couldn't see very well under the water without eye goggles. I had hoped, to spoil Dr. Soul's evil plot over the Japanese Ocean without getting wet. Out of the blur of the end of my vision came the fattest of the remaining 3. Actually, the fattest of the remaining 6. Probably why he was bringing up the rear. The straps of his augmented harness dug deep in his bloated body, and his arms extended out at me. I spin dodged and I snared what remained of the back of his shirt. One-handed the katana, I slashed at max speed 3 times, leaving the zombie with no arms and no legs. I'm that good. And was left steering the torso of the zombie up towards the surface. I was nearly out of air as I seen unobstructed blue sky, and I gulped air. We broke surface at such speeds that we cleared 10 feet over the water, plenty of time in the descent for me to reposition the zombie. We hit the water, zombie face up, and my boots on his face and dick, riding him like jet-powered waterboard toward the derelict jet ski fleeing the scene. Not sure how the jet was controlled by the zombie in the first place, but I quickly discovered stomping on the zombie's dick seems to speed it up exponentially. Like majestic dolphins, the remaining 2 mechanized corpses leaped and dove again and again, closing the distance fast. 200 feet to my jet ski. Come on, zombie board. A laser flew past my face and dissipated in the distance. Fuck! I think I already mentioned I fucking hate lasers. I was gonna kill these undead zombies again. I started weaving the zombie board to and fro as more beams of concentrated light shot past. 50 feet. I switched my foot to Goofy so I could face backwards. The zombies were matching each other as perfect. One came up from the left and the other the right. And again I steadied myself, staring forward, taking in every pixel of my vision, ready to use my katana to defect the next laser. Both zombies pulled back, and I momentarily dropped my composure before totally losing it entirely. The zombie board smacked hard into the back of my jet ski, sending me on a backwards somersault right over the seat and straddling the front of my ride, only managing to cling by holding my katana by thumb and index finger. Quickly I reached over the front and hit the autopilot with that hand, Springing airborne in a full front flip with a half twist, I landed perfect saddle. And give it the juice. Remember, it's electric, all black, fishtailing back to face the zombies head on. They regained their pursuit. I perfectly slid my katana back into its sheath on my back. Let's play chicken, I couldn't help but say before giving all the juice there was to be squeezed. 10 feet. I hit the double barrel front rocket launcher's pretty round red button dead center jet ski's panel, pulling up hard as I could, ramping a wave just as the zombie dolphin's jumps took them straight into the missiles. Boom! The armored underbelly of my jet ski scathed me from any damage as the force of it pushed up the jet ski airborne for an extra 3 seconds. That was incredible, and definitely like my second favorite game of chicken I ever played with a zombie. I went ahead and took a few seconds to pose cool by the fire that still burned by the water. I'm so badass. Dr. Soul would have sent whatever he had in the area after me. Maybe a few tricks left behind. I know all there is to know about Dr. Soul, and each of these necromancy corpses took time and effort for him to animate. I called out for Main Brain. Brain, fly the bird out past my vector. There's no point in being covert this time. That zombie ship has sailed. 10 minutes over the open ocean, and the disturbing glow reached a point where it only dimmed. This wasn't what I expected. He's under the water, like fathoms deep. Brain, patch me through to LaForges. Working. Connected. The computer replied to me. Cal? That's what Clarity calls me over the comms. Short for the long name, and still covert if the comms are ever compromised. What's up? What do you need? I found Dr. Soul. He's under the fucking ocean. Can you send me a drone with some scuba gear at my location? I'm totally exposed here. She could hear the light tone of urgency I rarely revealed. I heard a bang. Fuck. Shit. Scuffle. On its way. 60 seconds out. She shouted back through the computer console. I was about to thank her when I noticed I was slightly spinning. Perceiving this was strange, and I quickly picked up speed, slamming down the throttle as it was too late. As I tried to flee, the ocean began to swirl so fast that a hole began to form like an anus right where I had started, and I was trailing backwards to go down like a goldfish funeral. I set the autopilot on full speed and stood on the seating again. The SN started to slide down and the front came up. I stepped to the top. I'm going down and there's not a thing I can do about it. I readied myself to drown just as I heard a high-pitched fury of one of LaForge's high-speed drones. It dropped the gear right at the right moment to hit me in the chest at about 100 miles an hour. Thanks, LaForge's. That's a bruise that'll last. I was knocked back into the drain. Even spinning forces slammed me in all directions. I managed to get the mask on and blow the air out to clear the water. I was being pulled down by a man's superpower. There at the bottom, in scuba gear, standing on an idle submarine 30 foot long with his arm raised and the tail end of the funnel forming just above his head. I have no idea who it is, but I should know a power like that. My mask was just that. Some face goggles connected to a small air tank. High-tech gear though. Good for 15 minutes if you can manage your breathing. I can make it last twice that. I tucked the air tank into one of the front straps of my suit and quickly drew my katana. Letting the funnel just take me, I relaxed into it. With the katana at the ready, I made eye contact with the stranger. His eyes were wild. They showed excitement, but I could see the fear building in them. I might not know who he is, but my reputation definitely preceded me. I gave him the finger and returned to the ready. He dropped his hands and the funnel stopped. I began to swim towards him. He was smiling even with the air tank piece in his mouth. Up again went his arms. This time the funnel he created looked like rope. Long, feet long. He brought one down on me like it was a whip. I screamed underwater, almost pushing my mask off my face with the force of my out-breath. That really hurt. The water around me was already red, but I didn't bother to look. Shoulder still worked. I could still fight. He came again. I dodged. He was definitely fast, but I was definitely faster. But I couldn't close the gap without taking another hit, and I wasn't taking another hit. Finally, I managed a plan. The next water funnel whip strike came at me, and I dodged. Then I took out my tank, spun. Taking out my katana, I sliced the top clean off. The rush of air was so intense, I slammed into the stranger at outrageous speed. Thanks to the cushion of his body, I survived the impact. But the submarine had a massive impression, and the, man was dead, but whatever. I took his tank and made my way to the hatch, by the way of the side ladder that lined the sub's uppermost from end to end. At the fin of the vessel, I sliced through the outer porthole hatch and was sucked in with the water around me. From there, I was able to seal myself in one of the dividers and drain the water out. It pumped exponentially fast, and I was on my feet in no time. My gut told me that the moment I opened the inner porthole, I'd be in for a fight to get into a fight that would probably kill me. Dr. Soul's minor abilities extended from psychokinesis to energy manipulation. No one had ever defeated him in a one-on-one. I opened the porthole and dived in and was instantly engulfed in a fireball. My clothes were flame retardant, and I covered my face. Never hesitating in my entrance, I ended the roll in a leap towards the wall, drawing my katana. Kicking off the wall, I spun in time to air twist and dodge another fireball. For a split second, the fire wielder and I made eye contact. Oh, I knew him. It was Char, a lackey. I smiled. He cowered, and likely shit his pants, as my katana sliced diagonally twice in an X, before my feet were ever even on the ground again. A gargling sound escaped through Char's throat as he fell away in 4 pieces. Someday, Dr. Soul's gonna run out of henchmen. There was a clang, followed by the sound of hydraulics coming from the next room, and the only other room on this floor. This is it, I thought as I ran into the cabin. I only had a split second to see Dr. Soul through the glass of an escape pod. I rushed it, but wasn't fast enough. It pushed back and was ejected out, leaving in its space nothing but water. Damn you, Dr. Soul. I will never stop till I get my revenge. For Anna. Well, that was a nice dream. Maybe he'll kill that Dr. Soul someday. I see you fading. You're on your way home. It was nice having company, even if your existence in my realm was uninvited. I'll leave this link open, and you may, if you choose, to drop by from time to time for another story. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on what's going on in the universe. Good night, and don't let the laser zombies bite.